This episode, unfortunately, is all about my Democrats.
Unfortunately, man.
It is all about my Democrats. And what a better way to start this episode than the quintessential my Democrat.
Yeah, guys,
and
I'm
that's
still
Hillary
with
Clinton.
her. I'm still with her.
That's Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, I don't know what the fuck she was doing, but she had some videos go viral recently, and she had something to say about Trump's mass deportation operation.
You know, being like my Democrat,
Yep.
I bet you can guess that this is really just for the moment, something that cuts through,
Yep.
a sharp, a sniper with the messaging, if you will.
Yeah, surely she's going to reframe the argument and the narrative in a way that benefits Democrats and not the right wing.
Yep, rhetorical marksman.
Rhetorical marksman, a genius with the spoken word. Let's hear from the 2016 candidate herself, Hillary Clinton.
More people were deported under my husband and Barack Obama.
That's bad.
Without
That's
killing
bad.
American citizens and without putting children into detention camps than were in the first Trump term or this first year of Trump's second term.
Were children not in detention camps also under Obama? Like, wasn't that a thing as well? I don't know.
I would guess so.
necessarily.
People also died in detention under Obama.
I was going to say that's the other thing. She has to say without American citizens dying.
Yeah.
Because plenty of people died in ICE detention before. Like, calls to abolish ICE are not new. Calls to abolish ICE aren't a new thing because Trump is out here literally having mass whatevers run through the street and kill American citizens and non-citizens alike. It's been a thing because ICE has been awful for a long, long time.
Yeah, and Obama was like, the moniker he earned was deporter in chief.
Yeah.
Like tons, a lot of people like to get out here and say, oh, why is no one protesting? Or why did nobody protest Obama, but now they're protesting Trump for the same thing? And it's like, no, people did protest Obama.
Yeah.
That shit sucked.
Yeah.
Like that shit notoriously was really bad. And he was named, he earned the moniker deporter in chief. But also like, why do we keep capitulating with the narrative here? Why do we keep conceding on this idea that mass deportations are a good thing and that it's a thing that's necessary for the country to like be safe or something like that?
I think it's another example of Democrats looking at polling. Polling's going to be a big thing this episode. You just wait till the end. But Democrats look at polling. They see that Trump and Republicans still poll well when it comes to just like the border in general, but they don't poll well when it comes to the mass deportation effort, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to carefully craft a position that weaves in between those two. They say, how can we capture those people that like what's going on with the border and the border rhetoric, but not, and also capture the people that don't like what's going on with mass deportations, how violent this is. And that's kind of where you have to arrive. You have to arrive at this whole Democrats are better at doing deportations than Trump, less violently thing.
Yeah.
You can't do it otherwise. They're so allergic to the idea that maybe they have to go out and make a case for something new. They have to go out and make a case for something else. They just want to find the right words that will maximally appeal to the right amount of people. It's fucking robotic.
It's insane. And like the narrative here is essentially that Trump's mass deportation policy would be fine if it weren't for Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good.
Yeah.
Like everything else would be perfectly fine, but they got two Americans killed, to be clear. So now that's why I'm coming out against it.
And it was just so notably not fine beforehand. It was
Yeah.
so noticeably not fine until like that happened. Like everything that was going on from like May, June of last year has been insane.
Yeah.
People have been incredibly upset about it. People have been protesting all the time, everywhere, not just in blue cities, in red states as well.
Yeah.
In Texas, in Florida, in Tennessee, everywhere where ICE is, people are mad because everywhere ICE is doing awful things. And it's not, it's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, there's no reason to concede like this. And we'll talk about Democratic concessions a lot in this episode, man. But just, I cannot fathom why they think it's a good idea to just be like, oh yeah, mass deportation's cool, just to make it a little bit cleaner, a little bit more professional.
Exactly, because nowhere in there is she contending with the idea of mass deportation. She's
Yeah.
actually saying we could do mass deportations better. And it's like they're trying to get this gotcha moment. They're trying to get this rhetorical gotcha that they think will go viral and that will just appeal to the exact right amount of people. And it just doesn't, man.
It doesn't work,
Nobody
man.
likes this shit. You're continuing to normalize the same lies that Republicans told us to get here in the first place.
You can't be tougher on the border than the right wing.
Yeah.
And if immigration is going to be a major issue, you got to reframe it around a different set of values. And Democrats just seem incapable of that.
And
man.
it's like there's people out there that want the blood. Like there are people out here working in ICE, Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, Stephen Miller particularly, and the people that actually still genuinely support them that want the blood. They want the violence. They don't care. They think, oh, you broke the law, you deserve whatever's coming to you.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. We shouldn't be bending our entire rhetorical strategy around appealing to them. We should try and carve a new lane.
Shout out Hillary Clinton. Shout out my
It's
Democrats.
so awesome to see Hillary Rodham Clinton come in here and just rhetorical layup for my Democrats.
Oh,
man.
my Democrats. Welcome back to Head in the Office, everybody. We got lots to talk about today, but mostly my Democrats.
Mostly my Democrats.
We got to talk about the DHS shutdown. We got a whole bit on polling in here. And towards the end of the episode, we'll stop by Iran and see what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, new polling just dropped. What horrors await us?
Oh, man.
What horrors await?
We're taking a ride on the polar coaster, folks, to borrow a phrase from Pod Save America. Anyways, before we get into the show, I'll ask and beg and plead and demand at this point.
Yeah, frankly.
Become a patron.
Become a patron, guys.
Early access to all of our stuff, and an episode, a bonus episode, an interview with Kyle Blomquist went up a couple of days ago for those listening on Wednesday. Patrons got early access to that by like 3 days.
Exactly.
That's huge.
That's huge. In this news cycle,
Yeah.
in this political economy, in this attention economy,
Yeah.
you want to be the first to get to something.
Yeah.
And that could be you guys.
Especially like guest interviews, because who knows, in between the time where we post it on Patreon and it comes out for the public, a Nazi tattoo controversy could happen.
Exactly.
And thankfully it didn't.
Or a
But it
video of
could've.
them at a wedding from years ago could have resurfaced. You don't know that. And then the interview, you're asking, why didn't he ask these questions? Because you're not on patreon.com/headintheoffice.
Precisely, exactly. And you got to get in on that. Please become a patron. You also get commercial-free episodes. And of course, you support your favorite independent media outlet, which is
What could
us.
be more important?
Yeah.
What
Nothing's
could be
more
more
important than that. Other ways you can support the show, all down in the description. You can join the Discord. You can subscribe on our second channel or subscribe on Substack, all completely free. Follow us on all the socials, of course, especially if you're from TikTok. Follow us elsewhere, because TikTok's a weird platform nowadays.
It's weird. Things have changed.
Yeah, things have changed bigly. And lastly, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple and or Spotify. This first one from Apple here is from Cannon Man. I would trust these two fellas to be my child's babysitter and my ideological champion.
I've been saying this.
But importantly, they have never convinced me of anything. Subscribe to their Substack, NSPM 7 out of 5 stars. I will say the title of that review, The New Set Rocks. So
check it out, guys.
Important.
Check it out. This next one from A1666262. These boys are the GOATs. As a fellow Detroiter suffering through the hell called winter with you guys, I found this podcast through TikTok and quickly became a huge fan and appreciate all the N64 compliant content you put out. 5 out of 5 stars from one white boy Detroiter to another. Also, go blue, Noah Oms.
So true. So
Fucked
true.
up.
This next one from Lavander Sunya. They say 10 out of 10 rap breakdowns in an all-American country song. Gables and Jonathan are my new favorite quirked up white boys, providing legitimately entertaining news. As a new listener, My Democrats has immediately entered my bloodstream. Keep up the good
I'm glad
work.
My Democrats hit hard and it hit fast.
It just-
because
it feels right.
It's the perfect way to like just what's going on right
Yeah.
now. Hillary Clinton, My Democrat. Marie Gluesom Perez, My Democrat.
Big on My Democrat.
Hakeem Jeffries, My Democrat.
Oh, especially
man.
after that fucking interview he did yesterday, I think it was. Jeez, man.
These people love doing the same thing.
I can't imagine tripling down on accepting AIPAC money.
Yeah.
Like tripling down on that, saying, no, I'm going to do what's best for my district. And what's best for my district is taking money from the Israel lobby.
It's that, and then just like saying the abolish ICE thing without actually saying it. He's like, I'm going to talk about the issue in a way that I want to talk about it. It's like, well, the moment demands a little bit more than that. Like,
Yeah.
And that's actually what you're here to like talk about. But no, My Democrats love running from questions.
Well, it's the classic Democrat thing of like everything is messaging and nothing is like the deeper policy prescription or like the morals of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't know, man. It's not just about how you talk about it. There are deeper things at play, and your people want you to embrace something more than just no face mask.
More than just corporate money.
Yeah.
No face mask.
No face
Maybe an
mask.
administrative warrant when that's already the law. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. We'll get into it in a minute. This next review, 1 million accidental tattoos out of 5 from
Wow.
parasocial head recipient. First, let me condemn all forms of political violence and Hamas. I've been a listener to the ESPN 8 compliant show for about a year now, and after finding you boys on TikTok have profoundly enjoyed your measured and well thought out takes, not least because they tend to align perfectly with my own.
Hell yeah. Echo chamber over here.
Yep. I particularly enjoyed complaining out loud in your recent interview with the Democratic Party consultant, only to hear my own complaints spoken directly from the mouths of Jeremy and Gage. One thing I'd love to hear your takes on is the recent surge of firearm ownership among the left. That has actually been crazy. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, my take is that's your right, brother.
Yeah, my take
Do
is
your thing.
fuck it. Why not?
Practice safely, obviously. This next one from Tina the
and I condemn
Cheesehead.
political violence.
Tina the Cheesehead.
Whoa.
Green Bay?
What?
Midwest on top, second time 5-star review donor, and it was well deserved. Leaving this review after a conversation with a friend who would like to tell you all Would like to tell you all to know they condemn Hamas and all forms of political violence, of course. I had mentioned a comment you boys made about JD Vance being Aaron Burr a few months back, and my friend added a thought-provoking question I need your take on. If JD Vance is Aaron Burr, does that make Newsom Hamilton? And if not, who is? Anyway, thank you both for the great pod that helps me keep just a bit of my sanity each week in the midst of the absolutely insane political landscape.
I'll have to ponder on that one.
I guess Newsom is, I don't know. I think he's just the devil.
I think he's just the devil.
I think he's just evil.
Yeah, there's no needing to write like I'm running out of time on this one. He's just the devil. This next review from Heck Yeah Brother from Cat Lady 55369. Wow, as an almost 24-year-old woman who's lived in the South her entire life, this podcast is so refreshing. I was excited to come across your clips on TikTok and now been an avid listener, hearing two white men my age have based and articulate takes on what's going on in our hell of a country. Gives me lots of hope. So true. I've already sent my friends the YouTube podcast videos because I love watching a laugh as much as I love hearing them, and can't wait to get more current events updates as this crazy administration keeps going on their tirade. Keep up the good work, Kings. Gen Z is lost without you too.
So true.
Head in the office is officially white woman approved.
Oh, thank God. I've been waiting for approval.
Bangers.
It's been years.
It's been years, guys.
But we're now officially white women approved. We very much appreciate those reviews. If you want your review read, you absolutely know where to go. Also, please be sure if you're a typical Wednesday weenie or a Friday freeloader, check out the Kyle Blomquist interview.
Please check out the Kyle Blomquist interview.
It's out everywhere by the time you're hearing this.
Exactly. And it's a good one.
It's a banger.
Most importantly, it's a good one. It's a solid one. He's a cool guy, and he should win.
Yeah, as we said on the last pod, the tone is very different from the other interview that we released recently. So if you had hangups with that one, I think you'll enjoy this one.
You need a palate cleanser.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and some people did call it that in our Discord. So anyways, on to the news coverage here. We got to talk about DHS.
Yeah, man. I think you all know what happened. I think everybody knew what was going to happen kind of before this. I don't know.
Yeah, there were like tiers to what my Democrats would do here. I truly, in my heart of hearts, thought they would just cave and fund DHS.
I kind of thought they would do that.
So it's not the worst case scenario.
That's true.
But it's still like, man.
It's still like, I still like ultimately feel like we're just going to end up with funding DHS.
Yeah.
They're trying right now. Kind of, but I just don't know. I think we're just at a point where I have no faith in these people.
Yeah, especially because like it's Hakeem Jeffries leading the charge, and of course we'll get into it. The demands aren't all dog shit. Like there's some redeeming qualities to what they're calling for. But like they just as we've talked about before, they completely gave up the idea of shutting down the entire government to make the shutdown about this issue specifically. And instead it's only DHS. So like what, TSA workers aren't getting paid?
Yeah.
That's it.
And like that sucks. Like if like that's always been kind of like the most like forefront part about the shutdown is like the TSA workers, like people who are checking your bags before you get on a plane, going air traffic controllers and whatnot. And it's like, that's still not alleviate. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't have faith in these people anymore.
Yeah. Over the weekend, DHS shut down, as we said, because Congress did not come to an agreement on the funding of the agency. This means that ICE is technically shut down, although stuff's going to continue because it has infinite
like
money.
$70 billion, and I think Border Patrol has like $60 billion.
Yeah. No, they got lots of money.
Who knows?
From the one big beautiful bill. But agencies like FEMA, as we said, or TSA, Citizenship and Immigration Services, and the Secret Service, for example, are all shut down. No idea why all of that is under DHS.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
DHS is just a stupid hodgepodge of various agencies that are like, put together because they claim it has something to do with Homeland Security, and it doesn't.
And like the agencies that existed before like 9/11, because it's all a 9/11 thing, they were just under other places.
Yep.
Like none of this has to be this way.
None of it has to be this way.
It's kind of silly to lump the funding of all these different, drastically different things together. And it's kind of silly to have a cabinet level like organization run by one appointee who's responsible for such a wide ranging area, a wide breadth of bullshit.
Yeah, no, FEMA and ICE have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And TSA too.
Yeah,
like
well,
none of it has anything to do with another. Maybe TSA has a little bit to do with immigration, if that once a year. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's stupid. So the House and Senate are off until February 23rd because, of course, the government never works.
Yep.
When they get one day off, they get an entire week off. So the
Give
shutdown,
an inch, take a mile.
Yeah, this shutdown could be prolonged. But last Thursday, the Senate GOP tried to pass another stopgap funding bill. It failed 52 to 47. John Fetterman John Fetterman voted in favor of the bill. I even think there were some Republicans that voted against it, but John Fetterman stepped up and voted in favor of just funding DHS no strings.
I can't even call John Fetterman my Democrat. Like, I don't think John Fetterman
He's
is
Israel's
in the camp
Democrat,
with
dude.
those.
He's Israel's Democrat. It's insane.
He's something more.
Yeah. No, I do think something happened to him psychologically.
He's something transcendent.
Yeah. So since this fight began, Democrats and Republicans have been negotiating behind closed doors. You might remember during the shutdown last year, Democrats basically had no negotiations happening with Republicans on the healthcare issue. But here, some Republicans, at least enough of them to keep it shut down for now, have come to the Democrats and are negotiating. According to NBC, and this is a quote from a Trump administration official, they said, quote, "We're not going to negotiate in public," the official said, while adding that a, quote, "particularly challenging aspect of Democrats' demands is to end arrests without judicial warrants." This is the official again.
Okay.
The administration remains interested in working with these guys in good faith, but we will not be held hostage on an issue the president was elected on.
We will not be held hostage by the law.
Yeah.
We will not be held hostage by what, like, you're actually supposed to do. That's insane.
Yeah, we won by 1.5%, so we get to break into anyone's home.
No, when the president wins, you can literally do whatever you want. Oh my God.
Joe Biden was not moving like this.
No.
Joe Biden was not moving like this, dude.
Joe Biden pretended to move like this on student loans and was like, I can't do anything anymore.
Joe Biden received more votes than any presidential candidate ever.
Yeah.
And he did not move like this.
Talk about a mandate.
Exactly. Talk about a mandate. Chuck Schumer responded, "My Democrats coming in clutch." He said, quote, "I'm not going to negotiate in public and get into the details." But he said the White House needs to accept more than it currently is. Quote, "Their proposal is not serious, plain and simple. It's very far apart from what we need." I don't really understand this tendency to not negotiate in public.
That's kind of what I'm like
Call
lingering
him
on
stupid.
right now too, because it's like not negotiating in public just kind of helps them.
Yeah.
Because like this whole issue is happening because the Republicans are allowing ICE to run around and beat the shit out of citizens and kill citizens and non-citizens alike. Like they're allowing this agency to just run rampant through the streets of the country.
No accountability. Yep.
Nobody likes what's going on. Republicans are starting to not like what's going on. Democrats certainly don't like what's going on. Progressives hate what's going on.
Yeah.
Why not force them to defend these things in public?
Yeah.
It's just another leverage that they're giving up.
It's just
in
my
hope
Democrats,
that
dude.
Republicans meet them in good faith.
It's my Democrats.
It is my Democrat. My Democrats think Republicans are good faith actors.
If you thought that they would meet you in good faith, why are they doing literally any of this?
No, exactly. Why are they telling you that like the president was elected so we can break the law?
Yeah.
The president was elected so we don't have to listen to any common decency, any common sense. We can do whatever barbarism we want to. This is the dumbest shit ever. Just you don't even have to like negotiate in public. Just come to the press and be like, Republicans are saying this, this, and this. That sucks, and this is that bad.
Yeah,
this is
also,
why that's bad.
Like the negotiation's already basically public because we know all of your demands.
No, exactly.
Like you published them. Like nothing about this is secret. You're just refusing to go harder than you could. Like right now, the Trump administration is incredibly unpopular in part because of their mass deportation operation and the people that they've killed in broad daylight, 4K footage, 60 FPS, and stuff like that. And it seems like Democrats see that the Republicans are hurting right now. They're in a position of weakness, and they're not putting their foot on the neck for some reason.
It's like, again, it's like they think they're going to come at it in good faith. They're going to be like, we'll do you this favor as long as you help us out here. And eventually we're going to get masks, except for in some special cases, and maybe a judicial warrant.
Like I'm the type of guy to kick my enemy while they're down. Like I don't know, man. Like there's nothing honorable about any of this.
When
You
your
got to be
enemies
mean.
are evil, and it's also
Exactly.
like I get that this isn't how it actually works. Like these people are ostensibly elected to represent us. You know what I'm saying? Why can't they represent me in public?
Yeah, exactly.
Why can they only represent me in private? Why do they have to have all these closed door meetings to get something that's very public? This is like, other than the Epstein files, this is the issue that's at the forefront of everyone's mind.
Well, it's like Democrats have so little leverage because they don't have anything close to majorities in Congress. So the only real leverage they can muster is like public opinion.
Yeah.
Do it.
And it's like massively on your side right now.
Exactly.
And they're saying,
Without
no,
them
let's
trying.
Let's quiet everybody down. Let's let everybody forget about this.
Yeah.
And then let's go ahead and do whatever. Like, it's just, I'll never understand the tendency to think that these people want to help you.
Yeah.
The tendency to think that these people want to meet you in the middle. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no.
And it never will.
Well, and I think, the more like the realist or cynical answer is just that Chuck Schumer knows that and he's not actually trying to get anything done. So, which is I feel is increasingly more likely what's going on.
Maybe they want to do this in private because Republicans are stonewalling them, and they're like, well, whatever. I guess they won't budge, so I can't do anything. So let's drag this out. Let's pretend we're doing something.
Yeah, it is important to remember that Chuck Schumer's whole strategy, and he announced this is public, not a conspiracy theory. He said to the news when Trump first took office in 2025 for the second time, he said, Democrats don't need to do anything. We're just going to let them be unpopular. His plan was to do nothing.
His plan was Trump's actions will speak for themselves.
Yeah, and he's like, it seems like he's like annoyed that people want him to do something.
Yeah, well, probably because the Baileys in his head are like, well, actually, I should be able to do whatever.
Yeah.
The fake family he consults with that are Republicans.
Yep.
That's insane.
Democrats love Republicans, dude.
My Democrats love Republicans
They
so
do.
much. My Democrats just... Fuck.
My Democrats love Republicans. And I'm glad Democrats are, at least in some ways, trying to stand on business on this. The shutdown, obviously, as we said, won't do much besides not paying TSA workers and air traffic controllers and those kinds of people. To be clear, Democrats in the House did offer to fund DHS except for ICE and CBP. Republicans said no to that. So any complaints that Republicans are levying or any criticisms levied from the Republican side of the aisle where they're saying like, oh, TSA workers are going unpaid because of Democrats, technically Democrats did try to pay those people, but then it's also a matter of just giving up all leverage.
Yeah, but it's also like that shit just like doesn't work. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I was like pro shutdown and like, yes, shut down the government, make this an issue. People care about a government shutdown, but people care about a government shutdown when like the government actually shuts down.
Yeah.
The government doesn't shut down if you fund everything but ICE and CBP.
Yeah.
Because ICE and CBP have the funding to continue operating for God knows how long.
Yeah, I would be cool with that strategy if the intent was to just never fund ICE again.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. That'd be sick.
Because the way that I've seen this articulated, and I think this would be an acceptable strategy, is essentially like ICE has $70 billion or whatever the fuck it was from the One Big Beautiful Bill. So you should just cut the funding they get from Congress's yearly budget because they don't need that money anymore.
Yeah.
But no Democrat has articulated that position. So my thought is that they just either they don't know what they're doing or they don't care to try that.
I don't trust them to play hardball like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't trust them to actually like be willing to hold this funding hostage.
Right.
Because somebody's going to look at them and say, well, but safety. Well, but we have to but the border, like
but
border
law
security,
enforcement's a
like
tough
blah,
job.
blah, 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 blah.
Shout
Law
out
enforcement's a tough. My Democrat.
My
Democrat and chief right there. It's fucking Barack Hussein Obama. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's not great. And as we've talked about a few times, Democrats have laid out a series of demands. I don't know if we explicitly talked about this before, but they published like 10 demands that are very specific that they want to see. And I'm reading from a list from The Guardian. It says they demanded targeted enforcement, so like judicial warrants, no masks, requiring ID and badge numbers, protecting sensitive locations like churches and courthouses and stuff.
Yeah.
No racial profiling, use of force standards, allow state and local oversight, detention standards, body cameras for accountability, and standardized uniforms. That was the whole of the Democrats' demands, at least from like Schumer and Jeffries.
I guess.
It's all fine, but it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's just not enough, man.
It's kind of like that's why I say like all this stuff that's going on with ICE it's like a feature, not a bug. Like they're kind of designed to like be awful.
Well, and
ICE has been awful. The detention centers under Obama were awful. Like the entire operation has just been awful, and now we're seeing it on full display. These are the kind of guys that want to do something like this. They're acting it out like they want to do it, and it looks bad, and it sucks, and it's horrible, and it's causing a lot of pain.
Yeah, no, it's bad, and it's like that list of demands. Nothing about it is like explicitly bad, you know.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be against any of that being implemented, but also like half of that I feel like is already on the books as like a thing they're supposed to do, like use of force standards. That's already a thing.
Yeah.
They just ignore it because they don't care. So like half of this wouldn't even really make a difference. Half of it could just be ignored. And then the other half is like, it just won't do all that much to change the abrasive and violent nature of ICE and CBP. The thing you got to do is cut the funding.
Yeah.
And again, I know they don't have the votes to abolish ICE. Even if every Democrat wanted to do it, they don't have the votes for it. That's why you got to start calling for it and building public support for it.
Yeah,
it's the only way.
That's why maybe
only way
like the
forward.
leader of the party, like Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, should be out there like being for these things. Be thinking ahead to the future and what we can do to stop something like this ever happening again, or like stop it from happening in like the mid to distant future, and actually lay the groundwork for something and get your fucking party in line. But instead, we're gonna let dudes like Henry Cuellar, Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, whoever
the rising stars,
Alyssa Slotkin, Maggie Hassan. We're gonna let John Fetterman. I don't fucking know, these people in the Senate and the House just ruin everything and stop all progress because they're gonna say, well, ICE has to do some good work. ICE does good work. We can't let them just go unfunny. We can't just run out of their money. Like I'm so down on my Democrats when it comes to this whole thing.
It's not even just like the typical rotating villains. It's kind of the entire party, right?
Yeah.
Because the Democrats' narrative, the congressional Democrats, their narrative on this is essentially that ICE and CBP and DHS broadly is an out of control organization that just needs to be reined in with these good faith reforms.
Big on this.
And while some of like the 10 reforms that we just mentioned from the Democrats are like decent, like they're fine, as we said, a lot of it's just reiterating things that are already on the books, or they're just things that the administration will completely ignore. And even if Democrats got all of those 10 reforms, this administration's still going to go out and maybe kill more people.
Yeah, no, they're still going to do the mass deportation effort.
Yeah.
They are going to scrape and claw at every single thing that they possibly can in order to do mass deportations because they believe they have the mandate of heaven when it comes to it.
JD Vance said they have total immunity.
That's insane.
JD Vance also carted out the legal theory that all they need is an administrative warrant and they can go into a citizen's home. Like that argument would get thrown out anywhere.
Yeah.
It does not matter. They're already required to have judicial warrants if they want to go into the homes of citizens, but it doesn't matter because law doesn't matter to these people.
Yeah.
So any of these, like even if you got all of these reforms that you're talking about, it wouldn't do anything. And the only thing that will stop ICE is by taking their money away.
Yeah.
Because they need the money to do anything they want to do.
It's crazy because it seems like they just won't punt on the administrative warrant thing. Like a homeboy earlier said, no, we're just not doing that. We're just not. Mm-hmm. God, Joe Biden was elected on $15 minimum wage, student debt forgiveness, a whole host of other things. And my Democrats and Republicans stopped him from doing
Imagine
that.
if he was moving like
and
this.
he was just
too.
like, okay.
Yeah.
He said, I can't do anything else. The Supreme Court said you can't do it. And he's like, I can't. I'm not going to try anything else ever again.
So again, the shutdown fight is mostly rhetorical because Democrats already gave up the idea of shutting down the government as a whole over this issue, and now it's just DHS that's shut down. But we really do need to demand more. And I know it's like a broken record every time you tune into a Hiddo episode twice a week. We're always saying this, but abolish ICE needs to be the moderate position.
Yeah.
Not just because it ends the literal violence on our streets, because it would stop ICE from being able to do anything, because once the agency is gone, the agency can't act, right?
Yeah.
The abolition is a simple step in that regard. But also it rejects the notion that we need violent immigration enforcement to begin with. And to be clear, again, I know Democrats can't abolish ICE right now, but like you said, leadership comes with a platform. Mm-hmm. They should use it to start advancing an agenda that can gain popularity over time, especially as we point to the abuses of this administration. That's why I think abolish ICE needs to be central. And I know the comparisons to defund the police, they stream in all the time. It's not the same thing.
Like, it's not the same thing. It doesn't land the same when you talk to regular people. It doesn't even mean the same fucking thing.
But even if it was comparable in that way, you still got to make the case.
Yes, and it's just
because it's a moral issue.
Don't let Republicans tell you it's the same.
Yeah.
Like, just stop letting Republicans tell you how to run your platform. Mm-hmm. Stop letting them draw the comparison, and then you be like, oh, that sounds good in my head, so it must work. I have to abandon all my moral principles now.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. And beyond that, I do think abolish DHS needs to be embraced, at least by the progressive wing, and people need to start advancing that as well. The Department of Homeland Security is a phony-ass organization.
It's just fake.
It consists of immigration agencies, TSA, FEMA, the Coast Guard, Secret Service, and a bunch of other ones that have nothing to do with each other. All of these agencies were just stuck together under the guise of Homeland Security, and all it's really meant is like a surveillance state.
Yeah, it was another thing that happened post 9/11 where they're like, oh, anything that sounds like security, anything that sounds like rah rah America, anything that sounds like go get the terrorists, we're gonna stick in one thing and we're gonna do it. And we're gonna do it hard. It's just it's whatever fever happened in the 2 years after 9/11. This is just a consequence of.
Yeah, within ICE itself, ICE is separated out into ERO, which is like the deportation guys, and then HSI, which does like the sex trafficking, human trafficking investigations. In 2018, under Donald Trump, the director of HSI inside of ICE said, this should not be the same agency. We do not fuck with these guys. We do completely different things and they should be separated out, right? Because ICE didn't exist before DHS existed. So like we have all these agencies that are smashed together that essentially don't function together in any real way, but when they do, it's just like surveillance state shit. Mm-hmm. DHS should not exist.
No, it should, like when you get to shutdown battles, when you get to appropriations bills, the TSA should not be funded alongside ICE. Like, what do TSA, ICE, and FEMA funding have to do with each other?
No, literally nothing.
None of it. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense for these things to be under one umbrella in one cabinet position, because why is one person, in this case Kristi Noem, responsible for such a wide range of things like FEMA, disasters, airport security, and immigration enforcement, even within immigration enforcement, deportations and removals and investigations into like cross-border human trafficking.
Yeah. International investigations. It just kind of feels like it's a scheme to let her put on different outfits.
No,
like this was conceived of just so she could eventually one day, it was like prophesized that she'd be putting on different outfits.
And it's easy because it's like with Abolish ICE too, it's like ICE and DHS are like about the same age. Like these things are new. These things didn't exist before the turn of the century. These things didn't exist before 9/11. We had a world where all of those FEMA, TSA were just under different umbrellas when it came to funding. We can just put them back. And then there's less
TSA
bureaucracy.
didn't exist before 9/11.
Oh, I forgot about TSA.
Wait,
I forgot.
we used to have
I
a free
gotta take my
country.
shoes off at the airport because of 9/11. It's fucking ridiculous. But FEMA and whatever else is under there used to exist before 9/11. TSA can just go to transportation. Like it's actually incredibly simple how we can divvy up these industries, and that's less bureaucracy.
Easy peasy.
That's less
man.
government bloat. That's Doge.
And just precisely, we're the ones that are serious about government efficiency. But yeah, just on a point that we've been talking about for a while, like symbolically, when DHS is essentially the tip of the spear when it comes to this fascist regime, we should just get rid of it for that alone. But on top of that, it's also a useless, phony ass organization.
All the post 9/11 stuff just kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Like there's like a 2-year window after 9/11 happened where everything was just awful. The government just did crazy shit, and we should kind of reverse that.
Yeah.
The mass surveillance, get rid of the Patriot Act, get rid of DHS, get rid of ICE, make TSA better.
And the only guys who ever went to jail for it were the ones that blew the whistle. Fucking Edward Snowden's still hiding out in Russia. My guy John Kiriko went to prison and now has got some crazy stories. No one from the Bush administration ever went to jail for this shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Dick Cheney got to live a happy life.
A happy life.
Fucked up.
He got to live so long he said he would vote for a black woman.
I forgot about that.
He got a happy ending, man. It's not fair, man. It's fucked up. Now, okay, so we've made the case that the moderate position should be abolish ICE. People should be advocating for the abolition of DHS. However, that's not going to happen because we got my Democrats in charge.
Of course, yeah.
Senator Chris Murphy. Chris Murphy is a guy that's taken a more left populist bend. I think it's kind of phony because it's like all of these issues existed before and you're only now saying something. But like, fine, we'll see if bro means it.
Yeah.
But Senator Chris Murphy, who's sort of taken a leftward bend, said, quote, "We want to fund the Department of Homeland Security, but only a department that is obeying the law."
Okay.
First of all,
I guess, like, I guess, man.
It's my Democrats,
I
dude.
guess. I do, like, I get the idea that, like, yeah, nobody else is going to be on the abolish DHS wave and, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we can't even do abolish ICE right now. Why move the goalposts? There's a reason to move the goalposts. There's a reason to talk about things before they're actually the issue because, you know.
Foot in the door phenomenon.
Foot in the door, you believe in them type shit. But it's just like, my Democrats. He's like, Homeland Security, safety, blah, 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 blah. I'm so sick of these people, man. I'm so down on my Democrats right now. I can't stand it.
Well, first of all, it's just silly on its face because, again, this regime doesn't care about obeying the law. You're not going to get any body of the government, or at least of the executive branch, under this government obeying the law because they don't fucking care.
And it's like, I know that they say that. I know that they do, like, these senators, my Democrats do try to go out there and say, like, Trump doesn't care about the law, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think they say it enough because, like, when the president of the United States and his party and the administration control every lever of government in every branch of government, it really means something when they don't care about the law.
Yeah.
It really should never not be stated that these people are operating outside the bounds of the law. These people are doing things that are awful. These things are not only doing things that are immoral, but illegal.
Yeah.
And we have mechanisms that we can use to clamp down on that. And we should actively use those mechanisms.
Yeah.
Throw Pam Bondi in jail.
Well, and it's like their breaking the law allegations have been around forever in terms of Trump, right? Because that's all this fucking guy does is break the law. It was a thing after 2016 when he won and he became president in 2017. It's a thing right now. The more forceful position, I think, and I think this would probably skyrocket any Democrat to be like the front runner for 2028, is talk about what you're going to do once you're in power.
Oh, wouldn't that be so cool?
Start talking about accountability. Start saying, I'm going to throw all of these people in jail for everything. Like, start a clock ticking, right, in the back of their minds, essentially saying, once these guys are out of power, everyone who participated in these crimes, I'm going to throw in prison personally. I will see to it that we have Nuremberg 2.0.
Wouldn't that be so awesome?
But nobody's, like, that's the better way to frame the they're breaking the law portion of all of this. I've seen nobody say that. I've seen J.B. Pritzker kind of toy with the idea that once Democrats are back in power, they're going to do something about it. But I haven't seen Gavin Newsom. I haven't seen Kamala Harris, any of the front runners for 2028. I haven't even seen that many people on like the progressive left talking like that.
Well,
so
that's the kind of thing, though. It's like, because it's like, okay, they're breaking the law, then what?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like nobody cares about Trump breaking the law anymore.
I mean,
He's
he tried to
been
do
doing
a
it
coup.
forever.
He tried to do a coup.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit about January 6th.
And Merrick Garland was like, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, nobody gave a shit about January 6th. Every time they talked about it, it fell flat because he normalized just being awful. He normalized breaking the law. He normalized not caring about any of these norms and institutions. And my Democrats are just playing a different game.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then the other thing with this statement from Chris Murphy, as the same thing with Hillary Clinton, is that it accepts the pretense that we need this kind of militarized immigration enforcement, which of course we don't, as we've made the argument several times. But this kind of rhetorical concession, it seems sort of like banal or like unimportant, or even maybe like smart political positioning given like law and order rhetoric and that and its salience. But this kind of seeding of the ground is what allows us to get to the point where the right wing can paint all immigrants as a violent threat. Because you're essentially saying DHS should exist, and if it follows the law and carries out the law against, and often in a violent way, against immigrants, then it's totally fine. And that's the kind of concession that makes mass deportation seem not so unreasonable. Immigrants just aren't a threat, and I wish my Democrats would act like it.
Yes.
That's
kind of the big takeaway. That's been the takeaway forever.
Yeah.
That's been, I feel like if there's one horse that we've beat to death, it's been that. It's been the whole Democrats seeing on immigration, especially since the 2024 election, because it is so important and it's so in your face what's been going on. We saw people start to fuck with immigrants until my Democrats stopped.
Yeah.
And then Trump just took it all over. Trump did mass deportations, and they're still trying to play the same game as conservatives. They're still trying to get in there and squeeze the same whatever percentage of voters that they can take away from Republicans. They're still trying to do the same bullshit, and it's never not worked less.
Yeah, Republicans are always going to beat you on immigration.
Never not worked more.
If the debate about immigration is on the basis of how many people can we kill.
Yeah.
Republicans are always going to be able to kill more people because they're more evil than the Democrats are. So
they're always going to be willing to kill more people. Their voters are always going to want more blood than the Democrat voters.
Yeah.
Because if the Democrat voters wanted the blood of immigrants on the streets, they would just be Republicans. And in some cases are.
And in some cases they just are. Shout out Cory Booker, man. But look, you got to reframe it around a different set of values. And I think they should just start calling immigration what it is, a fucking paperwork issue.
Yeah.
You don't need DHS. You don't need ICE, which would be like, what, the 17th most funded military on the fucking planet? You don't need that if it's just a paperwork issue.
Exactly. You don't need that if you actually have immigration courts stacked, immigration judges there, people ready to process cases, NGOs funded to go and house immigrants who come across the border that were waiting to go through the actual processing situation. When you have a pathway to citizenship. You remember pathways to citizenship?
Oh, man.
you remember when people were talking about a pathway to citizenship? I do. I remember
people were
when
like, we got to
Democrats
protect the
pretended.
dreamers.
Yeah. Oh, my God. What a fucking
dreamers.
world that was. Democrats don't even talk about pathways to citizenship anymore. Nobody talks about like actual immigration reform. The only immigration reform that people on both sides of the aisle actually go and talk about is how can we deport these people and make these people's lives harder, but like less than Republicans.
And that's it. It's all framed around border security. How can we secure the border? Like when Trump ran in 2016 on building the wall, everyone fucking made fun of him, and now Democrats are like, I could build the wall. Like, and
the only reason it's all border security is again because Democrats let them lie.
Yeah.
Democrats let JD Vance lie every time he goes on an interview and says there are 30 million people in this country that we need to deport. And I feel like I'm a crazy guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a crazy guy for noticing it all. Like, again, pathways to citizenship are popular. Everyone, when you question them about abortion, if we're talking about polling, my Democrats love polling.
Yeah.
You talk to anybody on the street and they say they favor a pathway to citizenship.
Yeah.
Because those are people that are coming, quote unquote, the right way, whatever that fucking means. But nobody talks about it anymore. There is a wide open door that nobody's going through because they just want to chase Republicans down to figure out who can be. They want to carefully calculate how evil they can be so that they can peel off X percent of Republicans without losing X percent of their base.
Yeah. And it's like pathways to citizenship are cheaper too, right?
Yeah.
Rather than spending the money on deportations, which
Cost thousands of dollars.
For every person you try to deport. You get to let that person stay and generate tax revenue off of them.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty, like the math is very simple on this issue.
Maths.
And it would just be more efficient, more profitable, or more just fiscally responsible, as it were, to let immigrants just stay and give them a pathway to citizenship. The issue right now is that the only pathways are stay here illegally or get deported. Because the immigration courts are super backed up. And now, especially, even if you go to your court hearings, your legal court hearings designated on a certain time and a certain day, you might get scooped up anyway.
Yeah, and if you don't go to that court hearing, you're getting scooped up anyway.
Right, exactly.
It's literally a catch-22.
Yeah, no, the system is fundamentally broken. But yeah, I don't even hear anyone say we need a pathway to citizenship.
Man,
they just say we need a wall.
I would build the wall better than Donald Trump.
Cory Booker says we need body cameras. That'll solve the issue. Fucking Cory Booker, dude. Stand.
Anyways. I can't wait for that to come out. Yeah, we need body cameras. I'm going to do the Kamala Harris line. I'm going to be stronger on the border than Trump. Whatever the fuck it was. I'm gonna
have the most lethal military in the world. That was the Kamala Harris line. You remember?
Was it actually?
Yes.
Well, that's because Trump had talked about having a lethal military. Like they just take Republicans' flows.
Yeah.
They just bite. That's all they do. They take it, they take whatever sauce Republicans had away, and they try to do their own thing, and it doesn't work.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't work.
Like the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Kamala Harris just kind of stole that from Trump.
Yeah, and then she wrote a book about it and said, actually, I came up with it first, but he was public with it first. Like, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Whether or not that's true or not, frankly, doesn't matter, because that's not what happened. Like, don't write your loser-ass fucking book whining about, like, whatever happened, whining about your failures and how unfair things were to you when you didn't do it first. Like, I'm sorry, like, the truth in this circumstance doesn't matter. What matters is what was presented to the public, and what matters is how they perceived it and how it affected the election. And how it played out is that it looked like you were just biting his policy.
Yeah. She did that a couple of times where it's like, I actually know the issue is completely different, but I campaign on this because I had to.
Yep.
And it's like, well, could have fooled me. Anyways, that wraps up the DHS bit. We'll see what my Democrats have to say and do about this issue. But anyway.
You know, sometimes it just feels like all the news happens on Monday and Tuesday.
It's messed up.
But my favorite podcast drops episode on Wednesdays. I don't know what to do. It feels like they miss all of it.
That's a curse.
If only there was a platform that I could go to where I could listen to these episodes early, maybe when they record them. Do you have any thoughts?
Boy, do I have a solution for you.
Oh, do tell.
If you head over to patreon.com/headintheofficepod, you can listen to Head in the Office episodes before the curse of Monday and Tuesday news comes out.
Really? Do tell.
And you get access to commercial-free episodes. And everybody wants commercial-free episodes.
I bet there's also a whole host of other benefits and community engagement that they offer.
And friendship.
Very true.
Who doesn't want friendship?
The most important thing.
Absolutely.
In times like this.
Back to the episode.
That wraps up DHS, but that does not wrap up the discussion on my Democrats. If anything, really, that was a warm-up. That was a warm-up for everything we're going to talk about now, because CNN did some polling. And I really want to break it down for you all, because I'm mad. I'm mad kind of at the polling.
Yep.
I'm mad at Democrats. I'm mad at the median voter. Oh
my God.
Wow, who'd have thought you were mad at the median voter? And I'm mad at how CNN presented this polling. Perhaps I'm mad at that the most out of anything for reasons that I will explain.
The Communist News Network, so they must have they must have presented this in a left-wing kind of way.
CNN, Democrat state media, doing Democrat state media to further Democrat things. Well, my Democrat state media, who fucking knows? We'll get into it. CNN did some polling, and these are the two main takeaways. The first one is that progressives referred to here at progressives, who CNN refers to every time as quote unquote the far left. Unpack that, if you will, make up a majority of the Democrat base.
Type shit I love to hear.
Type shit I love to hear. Type shit we've been saying. Type shit two white boys on a podcast have been saying. And the second big takeaway from this poll is that a clear majority of Americans describe the party as quote unquote too liberal. I think you can see where things are going to go when they're saying that the far left makes up the base and that regular people perceive the party as too liberal. What do you think the conclusion they're going to draw from this is?
Yeah, well, I guess we got to track to the center.
I guess we got to track to the center. Guys, I guess we got to break it down. So
not left, not right.
I want to tell you the actual things that Henry Enton said, on his broadcast, on his thing that went viral, so we can, have a good faith look at polling and what the people who control our lives are going to be looking at when they make decisions.
Yep.
So Henry Enton said, back in 1999, this first part is going to be about the base being more progressive. Back in 1999, 26% of Democrats self-identified as conservative. Insane stat line. Crazy. The type of shit I never want to hear.
It makes sense why we got the fucking crime bill in that time period.
Just 5% said they were being very liberal. It was a smidgen. Now that far left has gained considerably in power. Look at this. Now we're talking about a fifth of Democrats, 21%, say they're very liberal. The conservative part of the Democratic Party, adios amigos, could be just 8%. Type of shit I love to hear. That's awesome to me, right? He then continues to say, when you combine the 21% who are very liberal with those who say that they're somewhat liberal, we're talking about 3 in 5 Democrats who identify as either somewhat liberal or very liberal, with the very liberals being a much larger portion of the party. The far left, which used to be just a smidgen within the Democratic Party, has gained considerable power, as you saw in New Jersey's 11th district. The poll also revealed that 1/3 of all Democrats and independents who lean Democrat self-identify as Democratic Socialists.
Type shit I love to hear.
Type shit that's got a guy like me up a trillion.
Guys, great news.
Guys, great news. Ring the bells. I'm Paul Revere running through. They're coming. Guys, the left, it's the Democrats' base. Maybe they'll see this and they'll listen to us. Maybe Democrats will look at that and they'll say, oh my God, the far left, the progressives, as I would call them, they're rising in popularity. Everybody loves these guys. Look at Mr. Mamdani. Everybody loves Mamdani. Even some Trump supporters love Mamdani. Trump loves Mamdani.
Yeah. A guy who was outspent like 10-1, a progressive one in deep red Texas.
Yup. A guy who's an outspoken Democratic socialist doing like great things over there. Hopefully, I hope he needs
Graham
to
Plattner
win.
somehow winning.
Graham Plattner, everybody caught Graham Plattner mania over there. He's going crazy. Progressives are winning big. Progressives are popular. Progressive ideas are popular. The base is progressive. Polling is telling us that. You would think that Democrats want to say we need to be more progressive.
Well, because I've been told my whole life that they're the ones who know how to win.
Yes.
Chuck Schumer, the people that surround him, Hakeem Jeffries, the leaders of the party, Ken Martin, those that are within the establishment, they know what they're doing.
Yep.
They got their hand on the wheel.
Yep.
They know where to go, and they're going to follow the data and lead us to the holy land.
Yep. And I mean, this is polling. This is God.
This is truth.
This is true. This is what they need to worship.
Polling is not from the devil, it's from God.
Polling is from God, and it's been given to us like a mandate, and this is what we need to follow, and this is what we need to do. Oh my God, we should be more progressive. But as we'll find out, and as we'll discuss, Democrats love to follow polling when it confirms their priors, but not when it says anything else.
Fucking dude descended from the mountain. He's got the polling on the stone tablets.
Yeah, he talked to the goddamn burning bush.
Yep. He's got the stone tablets.
He runs down and he says 1/3 of the party, Democrat socialists. Crazy. Are they going to listen? I don't know. Then in this one segment, Enton, after like kind of what I think is poisoning the well by calling progressives the far left, because what the fuck else is that other than poisoning the well? What is that if not condescending, if not disparaging, to describe the Democratic base as far left?
Also, like you're given, like, I'm guessing 5 choices in this survey, from very liberal all the way over to very conservative.
Yeah. Very liberal, somewhat liberal, neutral, conservative, very conservative.
Very liberal could just be like a pod save listener.
100%.
And on this, like, what is like an anarcho-syndicalist supposed to mark as their
What
ideology?
The fuck
you know
am
what
I supposed
well,
to
no,
pick?
and that's the point. Is like if I consider myself to be a socialist, what am I supposed to pick in that survey?
Yeah, because like I wouldn't pick very liberal. I don't know. I'd still pick somewhat liberal because it's corny.
Exactly.
We got to consider people's mindset when taking this poll. But so he poisoned the well by calling like everybody who wants anything good far left. He said the far left has taken over the party. He goes on to then say that voters are reacting negatively to this, with 58% of Americans saying that Democrats are quote unquote too liberal. These are Enton's words. Quote, okay, so we're talking about the Democratic base, right? But what about all Americans, right? How about all voters? Voters who say the Democrats are now too liberal, look at this percentage. It was 42% in 96. 48% 2013. Now 58% in 2025 of all voters say the Democratic Party is too liberal. The Democrats are moving to the left. The far left is gaining power. And there could be some electoral repercussions because what we see right now is voters, the clear majority, say the Democrats are too liberal.
But I can already sense, listeners, let me know if you can already sense an equivocation here, right?
Yep.
Because we're talking about the Democratic voter base becoming more and more left, right? A third of them are Democratic socialists. But then when people are asked to rate the party, they're saying the party is too liberal.
Yeah.
So they're saying the Democrats in power right now have tracked to the left, which is not true.
Not true at
Look
all.
at my fucking Democrats. Those are the ones that are being called too liberal, whereas the base is the one that's the Democratic socialist. Like, we're talking about 2 different groups of people here.
Yeah. It's that, or it's like you can't really reach into the mind of a person who answered this question and see what they think of as Democrats.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Where they ask the Democrats in Congress, where they ask Democrats on Twitter. I don't know. I'd answer something crazy different based on each answer.
Well, also, like in the same polling data, 42% said that Democrats were too liberal in 96.
Yeah. No, that's data from 96.
No, that's what I mean.
yeah.
42%?
42%.
42%. That's still like 58% is obviously the number that they're focusing on here, but 42% of people said Democrats were too liberal in 1996.
Yeah.
Like Clinton's Democrat. Come on,
Clinton's
man.
Democrats, Joe Biden's crime bill.
Like, this is just one of those things where it's like people that don't consider themselves a Democrat are always going to say the Democrats are too liberal. Hell,
Yeah.
I'd say Democrats are too liberal, derogatory.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, and that's kind of the broader point here is this data completely fucking breaks down, or at least what they're trying to conclude here breaks down when we actually think about what's being said with the survey.
Yeah.
Because the obvious implication here is voters think the party's too liberal, the party's base has gone too far left, this is going to have electoral repercussions. That's just not true. That's just not something that we've seen, at least so far. If I'm basing this off of what happened in 2025 and these special elections that are going on in 2026, Democrats are winning hugely. Democrats are winning massively. There has not been electoral repercussions. And that 58% number is not just a magic thing that just happened at the moment they took this poll, right?
Yeah.
That must have been building for a while. They're clearly trying to make the case that the party's gone too liberal for a while. That's just not what's happening. But the moment that you think about what's happening with the survey, you think about what all Americans means, you realize that all Americans includes conservatives. There is a significant outsized portion of people in this data set that were never, ever, ever going to say that Democrats were just just right.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
they were the Goldilocks liberal.
Yeah.
They're always going to say they're liberal. There are people in 2020 who thought that Joe Biden is earnestly a Marxist. People sincerely campaigned that Joe Biden was a Marxist. People thought that Kamala Harris was a Marxist because her dad was like a professor that like fucked with Marx or some shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, and Trump has also been lying about, like, shout out to the immigration issue, constantly saying that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were for open borders.
Yes.
This just wasn't the case.
Like-
Like the survey data does not take into account that one side has been maliciously lying about the Democratic Party, and the Democrats have been tracking to the right.
And that's all they present. That's
Yeah.
all they present is that, oh, base has gone more further left, that people think they're too liberal. There's something wrong there. There isn't something wrong there. We're actually like watching electoral consequences happen right now, and it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Outside of the 2024 election, which, boy, we've got some thoughts about the 2024 election. Like,
It's been pretty
things are going good.
And like Democrats aren't even trying that hard at a national level.
They're not trying at all.
Yeah.
They're not trying at all. It's fucked up. Like, you can't tell me to take this super seriously when there are guys who voted Trump, Romney.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not like being talked about as a caveat to this data set. That's a bit fucked up. And just because a subgroup may think that a party is too liberal, that doesn't mean that they won't eventually vote for them. And I know that that sounds counterintuitive. I know that that doesn't make sense to say, oh, they think they're too liberal. Why would they fuck with them? But we have to consider, like, my Democrats.
My Democrats,
We
yeah.
have to consider my Democrats. Again, a large portion of the conservatives polled are obviously going to, no matter what, think that Democrats are too liberal. There are probably people alive right now that think that Democrats are too liberal for thinking we should desegregate the schools.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got to think about what people's thoughts are about these
Yeah.
things when we consider this. And for my Democrats, moderate Democrats have not shied away from telling their left flank that they are too radical. They do it every chance they get. There are moderate Democrat voters that do somehow, for some fucking reason, think that the party is becoming captured by Democratic socialists at the congressional level, not just the base
Yeah.
level, that will still vote for Democrats instead of Trump. There are moderate Democrats that are answering the survey and saying, yeah, I don't like those AOC types. The party is becoming too liberal because we're embracing them.
Yeah.
But they're still going to vote for you. This is not saying that 58% of people in this country think that liberals are so liberal that it's a deal breaker when it comes to the election.
yeah.
And it is disingenuous to present that as such. It is disingenuous to
Yeah.
draw that conclusion. It's damn near malpractice. But when it's CNN, when you're my Democrats news network, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah,
You're going
I-
to undermine progressives every chance you can get.
I feel like there's also an additional factor that's sort of undermining the validity of these results. And it's just that, like, people's perceptions of the parties have gone so bananas.
Yep.
Like, nobody likes either of the parties. So when you get asked, are conservatives to this or that? Are Democrats to this or that? You're always going to say, like, yeah, I don't fuck with them because nobody fucks with them. And I feel like the too liberal or the too conservative moniker is just a way of saying, I don't fuck with these guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's really being measured here. And then to the point about, like, the moderate saying, oh, yeah, these guys are too radical. They'll say that. And sometimes they'll point to polling data, although it seems like they're losing data that they can actually point to. But, like, the thing that they're saying is too radical is something like Medicare for All, which polls at like 60 or 70%.
Yeah.
Like, the ideas themselves on the far left, as Harry Etten would say, are incredibly popular.
Yeah.
It's just that the Democratic Party is not, in part because they have tracked to the right over time.
And it's like, I know that, like, unfortunately, like, to do politics and do politics well and win power, I have to take the median voter seriously. Kill me.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm like, oh,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
like, that's a fate worse than hell, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't take the idea seriously that we need to treat the people seriously that think that Joe Biden's a Marxist. Like, that's just not a reality that we live in. If that's what's happening, if that's the sentiment that's making the vast majority of the American public think that Democrats are too liberal, I don't know. Something's wrong at the ground level.
Yeah.
That needs to be changed. I don't fucking know. But the reporting reports specifically on Democrats and people's perception of them. And that's another beef that I have with the CNN segment. I didn't see anything about conservatives and voter perception of them. So I did some digging, right?
You need the baseline comparison, man.
Exactly,
You need
because
it.
what does it mean? Like, how do I know that the perceptions of both parties aren't out of whack? Like,
Yeah.
you're clearly trying to tell me something with this segment, and I know you didn't just poll people on Democrats.
Yeah.
Fuck you for
Exactly.
that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. I did some digging and found that late last year, the Washington Post did a poll that echoed similar sentiments about the Democratic Party, but also included perceptions about Republicans. And it is certainly interesting, to say the least, right? So the WAPO poll done in September of 2025 found that 54% of voters viewed Democrats as too liberal, basically the same as what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
Whereas only 49% of voters thought Republicans were quote unquote too conservative.
That's 5% difference.
That's 5% difference. That's like not a huge difference. I get that, like, maybe stretch over the population, that's a lot, but
Margin of
bear
error
with
type
me.
shit.
Margin of error type shit. Off the bat, as an observer of things going on, right? Just in general.
Yeah.
In politics, in life, in whatever. The idea that Democrats are the more radical party is fucking ludicrous. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
The fact that that's what these people said is ludicrous, it's outrageous, and it's ridiculous. But I don't doubt that that's how the average person feels.
Yeah.
Because every time they're confronted with questions of whether or not the Democrats are too radical, Democrats themselves tell them that Democrats are too radical. There is a massive uphill battle that progressives have to fight when it comes to these rhetorical things.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous,
I mean,
right?
you look at something like abolish ICE or defund the police, right? Like these sort of like lightning rod moments where there are progressive calls to make some substantive changes to resolve an actual issue that people genuinely care about. And then, like you said, you've got the center, which is the majority of the establishment, the majority of people that are like in Congress saying like, oh yeah, those are the radicals of the party. We don't care about them. Yeah. Whereas the Republicans don't do that to each other.
No, never.
You never see Mike Johnson go, oh yeah, well, back when Matt Gaetz was in Congress, he would never go like, oh yeah, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're just too extreme. Mm-hmm. In fact, they only left Marjorie Taylor Greene behind when she started criticizing Trump for Epstein and not voting for Israel's funding.
Awesome. Like, two issues I love to die on.
But she could push great replacement theory. She could say, she could do a number of other things and the Republicans still would back her. The Democrats do not do that with the left flank. The left flank gets iced out.
It's fucked up, dude. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And like that, like when it comes to slander, progressives are fighting against moderate liberals and conservatives.
Yeah.
They're fighting against the entire establishment, not just one side of it. It's an uphill battle.
And most of the media.
In most of the media. And you have to contend with that if you want to have a serious conversation about this polling data, which is not what CNN wants to have, or at least not what they wanted to have with that segment. And that's disingenuous and it sucks. And it only serves to further the biases that moderate Democrats have against progressives. Yeah. And it only serves to like continue to make the country worse and keep us in this goddamn death spiral of Republicans win an election, they literally fuck everything up and make like awful and horrible for everyone. Democrats win, they try and pick up the pieces, but they don't really, because like they kind of fucked with some of the misery conservatives had, but just like to a lesser extent. And then nobody likes what they did because their lives isn't better.
And then we go further to the right.
And then we get another conservative, and now Nick Fuentes is at the White House, or now Nick Fuentes is normal, and now Republicans are killing people in the streets, and it's just cool and it's fine, and Democrats are still like border security. It's a death spiral.
Like Democrats have this obsession with polling, but only when it confirms their priors.
Yep.
Like the progressive policies like Medicare for all, higher minimum wages and stuff like that all poll incredibly high, but Democrats like to conveniently ignore that. And of course the big one is Israel. Like
huge one is Israel.
Like before the 2024 election, like something like 60% of the country as a whole wanted to cut off offensive aid to Israel. And the Democrats, although they say polling data is holy, didn't embrace that position for some reason. It's almost like polling data only matters when they can use it to ice the left out.
It's almost like polling data only matters when they can use it to ice the left out, or when it doesn't go against the things that they're getting paid money to say. Like when they're getting paid money by big money donors to say, man, another reason why money in politics is horrible. But like there's no doubt that conservatives are the more radical party. And I think if you seriously ask people to like talk about it, they would think that a lot of the things that are going on, particularly right now in this moment in 2026, are incredibly radical, incredibly Nazi type shit, to say the least. But I don't think voters perceive Democrats as more radical because Democrats continuously allow conservatives to set the rhetorical tone for every conversation. And this goes back to what we were talking about with DHS funding. This goes back to what we've been talking about for over a year at this point. Democrats will not carve their own path when it comes to rhetoric. They leech off the things that conservatives and the conservative media sphere has already made popular, and they just try and be Republican light. It's fucking stupid.
It's what I like to point to on, it's why I like to point to like their message on abortion rights. Like that's the one time Democrats did not concede, and they had their own set of values and their own narrative that they pushed, and they won bigly everywhere.
And it's the one thing they force Republicans to moderate themselves on. Because they set the tone.
And it works.
What, oh my God, it's like magical. Like, I don't know, it's almost like you have power in controlling the conversation. It's almost like when you control what people hear, that controls what they perceive, and you have a power to alter their perceptions and get them to do the thing that you want them to do.
Yeah, you could do that on just about every issue that matters to people right now, but Democrats just refuse to. In fact, sometimes they convince themselves that sometimes they need to agree that Trump is doing some good things, like when he decapitated the Venezuelan government, or when the mass deportation effort kicked off back in 2025, and some Democrats were like, well, we do need to get the illegals out. Like, no, brother, we don't need to concede. Like none of this is real.
Like I will fundamentally reject that idea, man. I don't care. Even if I become a goddamn sycophant the other way, I reject the idea that we need to to constantly concede to Republican framing. Again, our Democrats, like in Congress, think that the party's becoming too liberal because the base wants to push them. How dare they? The base wants them to represent them, right? These perceptions, the American public perceiving that Democrats are too liberal, these perceptions are created. They don't just exist in the air. They don't float around. There's no real quality to the idea that a Democrat is too liberal because there's no real quality to what too liberal is or is not. It's an idea that is set by standards that you come together as a collective to normalize. And right now, Democrats have chosen to normalize conservative standards and allow them to do everything. Again, immigration. I'm going to beat that dead horse till the day I fucking die, or till the day that we actually have a functioning immigration system.
It's just crazy. Like, the thing that kills me about Democrats and polling data is that it seems to me that they think public opinion is this thing they simply cannot change. That people are like born with their beliefs and they will not change over time. They just make no positive arguments for anything. They just like, they look at where the polling data is, they look at what the focus groups say, and then they run on those issues rather than actually believing in like a set of ideals. And I think, like, obviously the I would say naive take is they just don't know what they're doing, but the pessimistic and cynical take is just their donors are telling them what to say, or maybe their donors aren't explicitly.
I don't even think that's a pessimistic or cynical take, realistically. Like, I think their donors are telling them what to say. I think when we're having conversations about donors like AIPAC, they literally tell them what to say, so much so that they'll sabotage an election if you so much as want conditioning aid to Israel.
And sometimes it's not even as explicit as you have to say this. It's just that these donors get to police the boundaries of what is acceptable to them. And if you go outside those bounds, like we saw in New Jersey's 11th district, they will spend a ton of money to try to sink you. And in that case, it backfired, but the guy they were campaigning against did end up losing. So, like, it's a real threat for a lot of people. I just think Democrats would do a lot better if they chose some things to actually believe and fight for.
Could you imagine?
Especially if those things were good.
Well, the only thing they choose to believe and fight for is against progressives. Honestly, because I'm starting to feel like, and maybe this is cynical, maybe this isn't fair to me, but I don't feel like we're in a position where I necessarily need to be fair to the Democrats all the time. They fucking suck, and they haven't proven that they can, I don't know, do anything good right now. I don't know. Call me a negative Nancy. Call me two down. I'm not going to feel bad for being mean to politicians. Like, well, I mean, straight up,
dude. If the fucking primary elects Gavin Newsom, I'm gonna freak out.
Oh my god, gun to my head, man.
If Gavin Newsom wins the primary in 2028, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
But it's like guys like Gavin Newsom, moderate Democrats. I feel like, and what I feel like is maybe unfair, but I really don't think it is that moderate Democrats will draw more distinction between them and progressives than them and conservatives, because they try to be conservatives but not as brutal, and they try to fight against anything that is progressive.
Well, yeah, they'll say like, oh, I'm gonna reach across the aisle to my Republican colleagues, and then when it comes to progressives, it's nothing they want can ever happen. They're asking for too much. And it's unpopular even though it's not.
And it's unpopular even though everybody fucks with this thing when it's not attached to my face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on, like, what was it during the 2020 election? Wasn't it weed and minimum wage had a higher percentage of, like, the ballot initiatives?
Yeah, the ballot petitions
had like a higher percentage of the vote than either candidate.
Exactly.
People fuck with these things.
Like, legalized weed is one of those things where it's like a slam dunk for anybody who does it. Like, you will earn a generation of voters that will never leave your party if you do this one thing, but nobody's willing to do it either because, like, they're too old or they don't like black people. It's racism.
Because it's like, there are a lot of things that are like donors. I don't think weed is one of them. Like, I think that one is just these people are old. They think, I don't know, you're going to catch reefer madness or whatever the fuck they used to say.
It's reefer madness thing, and I think they just associate it with black people.
They're just old and racist.
Even though everybody smokes weed at like equal rates, there's no racialized component about it. But I think they're just like, oh, this is what black people do.
And if we're talking about progressives, a lot of these people are so incredibly old. They may just have grown up in the Red Scare.
No, exactly. Like, every president we've had, except for like Obama, was born in like 46.
The year the president was born in doesn't really change. They just keep getting older.
Obama's the one exception, but he just believes all the same shit they do.
Yeah, we're gonna run out of candidates pretty soon. That might be the real paradigm shift. Fuck abundance. But Jesus Christ, man, moderate Democrats, they're my Democrats.
They're mine.
They are my Democrats. They love fighting progressives. And like you alluded to earlier, do conservatives ever label members of their own party as too far right?
Dude.
Never. They don't fucking do it. And like, please, honestly, earnestly, if they do, if there are real examples of them doing that, let me know. Because that would be important.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, as a politics enjoyer, as a politics observer, as somebody who does this a lot, I don't see it happen. And I have a concrete example of this. When Nick Fuentes went on Tucker Carlson's podcast.
Oh, I was just about to bring this up. Yeah.
There was a good bit of right-wing infighting that was happening. You had, what was it, Heritage Foundation guy be like...
Glenn no, not that. That's a...
Glenn Greenwald?
No, it's not him. It's not. I'm thinking of somebody else. But yes, the
Wait,
Heritage
a
Foundation
Heritage
guy.
Foundation guy said one thing. I can't remember if he was pro-Nazi or anti-Nazi. Heritage Foundation.
Well, I think what he said was like, yeah, I don't like what Nick Fuentes said, but he's a part of the tent.
Yes, and then other conservatives, like activists, not anyone actually like within the party, were like, I don't really like the Nick Fuentes thing. Maybe we should shut it off. J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States, made a statement, and he said, guys, we just need to be a big tent. I may not agree with everything that Nick Fuentes says, but like we need to be a big tent. We're all fighting towards the same fucking goal. Yeah, being a Nazi.
Yeah.
White purity. Like I don't fucking know. Racial hierarchy. That's ridiculous. They don't do that, even when there is a literal Nazi in their ranks. And I didn't want to just like remember that and go based on my memory, because this is something that like matters. This is a real point that matters to make, in that Republicans don't undermine the efforts of their right flanks, but Democrats constantly undermine the efforts of their left flanks. And I saw Media Matters did an analysis while that whole Nick Fuentes thing was going on. Fox News did not mention it. Fox News did not cover the Nick Fuentes drama for at least like 2 weeks. The analysis didn't go past that, but if they didn't talk about it the 2 weeks that it was happening, nobody's talked about it since then.
You know how much coverage the Totenkopf tattoo got?
Yes.
Like that shit got it, and like valid to have criticisms about that. But the point is just that like the media will eat left-wingers alive, but when we're talking about right-wing media covering right-wing infighting, they won't talk about it.
Yeah.
They'll just be mum.
They'll just be mum. They'll just whatever. Oh, everybody will work it out. And they let them work it out.
Yeah.
And then the party becomes more fucking conservative. And then we got Nazis. And then we have Department of Homeland Security Nazi posting. We have Department of, what, agriculture was not? No, labor.
Yeah.
The Department of Labor is just posting, fucking Hitler quotes or whatever.
Yeah.
They're posting Manifest Destiny bullshit. Everything is hell now.
Yeah.
Because they didn't criticize their right flank. But we can't have heaven.
I swear, dude.
Because we're criticizing our left.
One day, everyone on the left, from center left all the way to far left, will be facing the wall, and my moderate Democrats will be like, "Man, we should have just moderated a little bit more. That would have saved us.
You should have just let them kill gay people or something. Kill trans people. I don't know.
If we would have just moderated a little bit more, then we could have won.
Yeah."
Whatever.
If you would have helped me, I don't know. I just have morals. I guess I have morals, and I feel like this stuff would work. I believe in it, and I think that this wicked adherence to what polls and what confirms my priors is ruining the goddamn country.
Yeah. Well, and actually, to add an addendum, the only time right wingers don't come out and defend their right flank is when those right wingers don't want to fund Israel anymore.
This is true.
Then they lose their seat in Congress.
This is true.
Or Madison Cawthorn, when he sort of blows the whistle on the orgies that old GOP senators are having with each other, then he loses his seat. But not before.
Exactly.
Not before.
No, just being a Nazi, that's the cool part.
That's not
everything else is not. Man, we live in such a fake fucking country. Everything is so fake and dumb and beautiful. And I feel naive. And maybe I'm going to be a little cocky here, but I feel like I'm seeing through it all. I feel like there's a line here.
Yeah, I'm like Tanjiro.
But the immense amounts of wealth that control our politics are stopping anything good from happening.
Yeah.
And the immense amounts of old that are in our politics are stopping any of these people from doing introspection and actually understanding. Because there is a very clear, what is happening? Part of when you look at that CNN data is that the base is becoming more far left. The base is becoming far more progressive than it was before. Like that said, in 1999, 26% of Democrats self-identified as conservative Democrats.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gag me with the spoon, brother. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
That's horrible. And now it's only 8%. That's a good thing. I don't know. I don't want conservatives in my Democrats.
Yeah.
Fucking sue me?
It is a good thing. And I think a lot of Democratic voters, the Democratic electorate, is just getting very radicalized against their own leadership.
Exactly. And
nobody
it's
likes Chuck
happening
Schumer
quicker
and Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah.
Because these people can't deliver for them.
Yeah.
Because these people can't do anything for them. You have the base running in one direction and Democrats running the opposite. It just happens to be in the same direction as conservatives.
Yeah, exactly.
They're chasing this. The far more meaningful perspective I think you can take from that polling data, if we just consider the Democrat stuff that Harry Ented wanted to talk about, is that Democrats are running towards conservatives, whereas the base is going somewhere else. And where are they going to land? I don't know. They're not going to fucking vote. They're going to feel disenfranchised. They're not going to fuck with you. Harm reduction voting only works so much, right?
Well, it's harm reduction voting is a strategy, but it just isn't compelling to anybody.
And because it's kind of funny when we were having the Gavin Newsom conversation last week. A bunch of comments were like, "Yeah, JD Vance is the harm reduction vote." That's fucking funny.
Like, what am I supposed to do if the Democrats put up Gavin Newsom in 2028? How the fuck am I supposed to tell anybody, like, yeah, he's a little bit better than JD Vance? Like, come on, man. like, truly, what is the better outcome there? Gavin Newsom comes in, fails everybody, disillusions the entire country, and then we get an even bigger fascist wave in the next election. Or JD Vance comes in with like 15% approval and gets nothing done at any point. I don't like what's the better outcome? I don't know.
Like, no, I don't know if there is a better outcome. I think the better outcome is just, I don't know, fucking go in a coma.
Yeah.
Be in a coma, medically induced coma for the next however many years.
Yeah. Man. Better outcome, asteroid hits Earth.
Better outcome, nuclear holocaust. I don't know, man. At that point, maybe we can just hit the fucking button. But in the most predictable like news ever, conservatives are just blasting the soundbite around saying, look, we were right all around, and you know this is bad. If even CNN is reporting on it, they have no idea.
CNN, no, they don't. They just
have no idea, man. They're living in a different fucking world than the rest of us. But Jesus Christ. So I know that all the Democrats who love to act like conservatives are just going to do the same. Yeah. And I know that all the consultants that love to appeal to conservatives are going to go to their clients. They're going to be like, look at this.
I love the implication in this CNN bit that the base is moving further to the left and the politicians are following.
Yeah.
That's just never been the relationship between the Democratic base and Democratic politicians.
And it's like, again, like maybe Joe Biden, with the exception of Gaza, of course.
Oh, yeah.
With the exception of Gaza, Joe Biden was moving a little to the left, but it was not the far left. If if you want to tell me that $15 minimum wage, fucking paid maternity leave, what was the other good things that Joe Manchin stopped? Everything that Joe Biden was against, child tax credit, $15 minimum wage, paid maternity leave, a bunch of great things. If that's what was too far left about the modern Democratic Party, we as a society have fundamentally miscalibrated.
It's over.
What is left and what is right, man. Because holy shit, those should be moderate positions. Those are positions that I go and talk to people and they're like,
yeah, no, exactly.
God damn, man.
Like, it's just, it's beyond silly, man.
Society is crumbling and here I am.
Shit's falling apart and I'm just sitting here thinking hard.
I'm just sitting here pondering it.
Sitting here thinking hard. Anyways, we can end off on a little bit about Iran, because Trump is calling for regime change. Just openly saying, I think regime change would be good. He said that a couple of days ago, I think on the 13th of February. And then I have some, I read a BBC story about this, and I want to just give you a taste of what they were talking about.
Okay.
Because it seems like shit's not good, even though the media is trying to say shit's good.
Oh.
But the way I read that is shit's not good. So,
no, that's valid.
Iran's deputy foreign minister told the BBC, quote, the issue of zero enrichment of nuclear material is not an issue anymore. And as far as Iran is concerned, it's not on the table anymore, essentially saying we're going to enrich uranium no matter what.
Oh, okay.
This contradicts comments made by Trump to reporters as recently as Friday that we don't want any enrichment. That's what Trump said. And then this was the quote that really got me. Iran's negotiator also reiterated Tehran's refusal to discuss its ballistic missile program with American negotiators, which has been a key demand of Israel.
Those are literally like the two big things that like America and Israel have come out and they'll be like, these are the things that we need on the table with these talks. And they're just like, no, they're just...
I just think it's awesome that like America is doing the negotiating and it's like, this has been a key demand of Israel. Which, like, to be fair, Israel, of course, has been targeted by Iran's missiles, but it's like, we're the ones doing the work.
And to be fair, they own us.
Yeah, well,
I don't know, man. It's just everything.
I think Israel's just an extension of us, man.
At this point,
it's just they're just a military base in the Middle East. Like, it's not a real country.
That sucks so bad. This all sucks so bad. Trump kind of like... He kind of acts like me when I need to get some done, in that he thinks that he can just like say something really hard and forcefully or do something hard and forcefully, and it will just happen by sheer willpower. Because I think so. Like when I was in college, I was
incredibly valid.
I can get this assignment done by sheer force of will. And would I sit there at the library from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.? Yes, but I get it done. But that's way different than like I'm going to force this country to do whatever I want and bend to my knee.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
going to tell Iran to not build a nuke after I backed out of the deal that made them not build a nuke.
Yep.
Like that is the situation.
After I back out the deal, I love sanctioning them, and I'm like openly talking about being. He's just like, it's corny to say, but he's just like a bully.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I will say that Iran also said that U.S. military bases are viewed as legitimate targets in case like fighting broke out. So I don't know what's going to happen. As we said with Venezuela, we don't build up military resources to not use them.
Yeah.
Because that's just a massive waste of money. So it seems like something might happen. I don't know. If we get sent to Iran, we'll see what happens.
We may be broadcasting live from Tehran.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if they drafted me and sent me to Iran, I would switch up.
Well, yeah, we may be broadcasting from Tehran, state-sponsored news.
Yeah, I'm immediately going to switch up, convert, and start figuring out how to build them a nuke.
For sure.
That's my goal.
Yeah, well, John Karaku or whatever his name, doesn't he do like a radio show for Russia?
Does he actually?
I saw one clip where he was talking about doing a radio show for Russia, but he's like, I did it on the condition that I can say whatever I want. And he's like, when they invaded Ukraine, I said that was bad. And it's like, that's funny.
Dude, he's so funny,
Honestly,
man.
that's funny.
He's the funniest guy ever, I think. Anyways, that brings us to the end of this episode. And look, man, shit's bad.
It's just bad.
Shout out
my Democrats aren't making it any better. Hopefully, next episode we can talk about conservatives at all, but I don't know. With the way the news is going, it's really just my Democrats just stepping on rakes.
Yeah, my Democrats, man. Anyways, that brings us to the end, meaning that we got to read our Spotify reviews on the last episode on the Pam Bondi Crash Out episode, of course, because we did have that bonus episode drop on Monday. Make sure you check that out if you missed it.
Please.
But we're going to read our 5-star reviews here on Spotify. This first one from Todd99, 5 out of 5 stars. Just discovered this podcast a few months ago after continuously seeing TikTok edits. But now that I deleted TikTok, I must follow these two quirked up white boys who give me hope for Gen Z and politics. Although I am not a Midwesterner, I visited Detroit in September and I can see why people love the city so much.
Oh, huge.
Keep it up and appreciate the decent, honest reporting and sanity checks. We'll become a patron soon to contribute to the Hiddo HOA.
Nice.
Much love. Thanks, goats. I will reject the idea that we're reporting on anything.
No, this is true. This is true.
I-
Somebody accidentally called us a journalist the other day, and we just nipped that shit in the bud.
I firmly reject the notion that content creators can be journalists. That's not the same thing, and I think it diminishes the art of journalism as a whole.
Guys, I am not breaking
reject this.
anything. Even when I talk to politicians, sometimes I'm low-key glazing.
Yeah, I'm a commentator.
I'm a commentator. I get Kyle Blumquist on. I get Abdul on. I'm low-key glazing.
Well, got to.
I'm not doing journalists. I have an agenda and I'm pushing it.
This is Hiddo's Fox News. Or Hiddo is Fox News.
Hiddo
This is the
Fox
left-wing
News.
Fox News.
100,
Right here.
that's what's gonna happen, man. Hiddo Media, big 5 out of 5 real guys tapping in, keeping tabs on my Democrats. Appreciate y'all for exposing all the lies of both parties. All these politicians are some clowns for real. Been telling people this for the longest. Y'all's little catchphrase be having me too weak, fucking ridiculous, sucks bigly. And that's true.
Sucks bigly. This next one from Cole Miller, 5 out of 5 stars, from one Midwest 20-something guy to a couple of others. Hiddo is keeping me sane as I, a second-year law student, keep watching this lawless administration constantly violate human rights and the Constitution. Y'all keep me hopeful as a blue dot in a deep red state. So thank you for all that you do. P.S. It sounds like you guys have a couple of offers for in-house Hiddo counsel.
Oh.
But if you need a trial attorney in about a year and a half, you know where to find me. Hopefully we don't need a trial
I don't know. It depends
attorney.
on how these midterms go, honestly.
Yeah, I don't want to put myself in a position where I need a trial attorney, but thanks for the offer.
Well, yeah, this I don't know, man. I feel like we have enough on tape. I feel like we have enough film out there to where when the big switch up happens, last year the Trump administration, they're like, we're going out here, we need to go out with a bang. Our ass is getting arrested.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but we are NSPM 7 compliant.
This is
At
true.
least we say that we are.
I got nothing to
insist.
worry about. We are NSPM 7 compliant, and I've condemned political violence in Hamas every episode.
Oh, every episode
Since whenever it was condemnable to condemn those things.
Condemn.
Condemn. This next one from Coherent Babbles, 5 out of 5 unanswered questions. First and foremost, I condemn all forms of political violence and stand against genocide. First time reviewer, long time patron. Oh, I recognize that name. Here's to my 2 favorite quirked up Midwestern white boys. These guys give me hope as a slightly older white boy who lives in the deep south of Eastern Long Island. The Hiddo boys continue to impress with their nuanced takes and unmatched humor that makes this insanity a little more bearable. Nothing parasocial about them. They're my best friends. And that's the truth. That's the truth if you're on Patreon. I also got to say, I feel like a lot of our reviews, maybe recently, have mentioned you guys are from Long Island. Is that just like what happens when you're not a conservative who grew up there?
Hiddo's big in Long Island.
Do you just get instantly pushed into whatever Hiddo is?
Hey man, we'll take that. Next one from Toast, 5 out of 5 stars. For the only podcast that exists.
Yeah.
I of course condemn hate and political violence, but I also condemn the Fox News ad I got during the segment.
What the hell?
About the CIA guy. What? And my own failure to write a review even after listening to the pod for about 10K minutes last year.
Holy shit.
These boys have the best takes while keeping us informed, and they brightened my snow shoveling session that I just finished. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and this is your sign to leave a review and join the Patreon.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is naive of me to say because like I don't propaganda works on me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is immune to propaganda, right?
Yeah.
But John is funny.
John is funny, man.
John is funny. And the same. I know people are like CIA plant, like he's there to make the CIA look like more tolerable. I don't think that's what's going on. I'm a critical consumer or whatever. white boys with motion.
Well, it's a white boy with motion. It's a Greek boy with motion, I think.
Yeah.
Shout out. But also, like, everything he says paints the CIA in a pretty negative light.
Exactly.
Like, nothing, no story he's told am I thinking, like, oh, the CIA is cool.
Like, he may be like a Russian asset or something.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. But at this point, with what our government did to him, I don't blame him.
Yeah, well, on some Edward Snowden shit, right?
Exactly.
Like, I could be critical of the decisions afterwards, but, like, you blew the whistle on a terrible thing, so I can't be too upset.
Kind of goaded in my book.
Yeah.
You know, kind of goaded in my book. And he tells a story well.
Yeah.
And I think what we've learned over this whole, like, I don't know, the Joe Rogan of the left, blah, 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 $20 million to media, is that you get a guy that can tell a good story.
Yeah.
And you kind of win.
I mean, maybe I'm an easy mark, but I tend to.
I think I am.
I feel like, I don't know, he's kind of goaded.
He's fucking hilarious. He says the words funny. He says things funny. The edits are funny. It's all funny. It's the thesis of this show. Just say it funny.
Say it
and
funny.
people will remember.
Like, what would be the psyop that he's a part of?
I don't know.
Like, what would be the
I know
end
a lot
goal?
of people just think he's lying about everything, but it's like, I don't know. He confirms like a moderate Democrat who's looking at polling. He confirms my priors, so I believe it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Straight up.
he hasn't said anything about Havana syndrome, I don't think.
Oh, this is
So-
true. This is true.
I don't know. Seems reasonable enough to me.
Who knows? This next one from Luke, 5 out of 5 for my favorite Crypto Boy Boys. Greetings from the Netherlands. Whether our 10th straight center right cabinet will be installed next week, I'd like to rectify something from the files. Gager Jeremy, IAK, I don't know who's who, said that the Dutch royal family, who I don't like, was named in the Epstein files. Our royal family was 1.5 European royal families not named in the files. You were thinking of Norway. You make me realize our generation is fighting the good fight. Keep it up. Oh, damn, that's good. Well, shout out the Dutch, I guess.
Well, all Europeans are the same.
Yeah, no, as an American, I do believe that.
Yeah, it's one small land mass.
Especially like those are the Nordic countries, right? Like all the ones I got confused with each other.
Scandinavia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, you guys are all the same. Just different variations of white, and by that I mean the white.
White.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
This next one from Jack Hammondence, 5 out of 5 stars for this MP3 PSN compliant podcast, all the way from Australia, where unfortunately we seem to be marching down the same path of right-wing populism. These quirked up Midwest white boys are my favorite way to get a glimpse into the future of Australia. If our version of MAGA, Pauline Hanson, One Nation, was to get into power. Sorry, I forgot 2 important things. I condemn Hamas and all forms of political violence.
Yep.
Keep up the great work. Yeah, there really is no Western country that's free from this development.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like motherfuckers in like sorry, not to like take attention off Australia, but like I'm more familiar with like the far right's rise in like the UK.
Oh, Keir Starmer's fucked, dude.
Keir Starmer's
It's
fucked,
over.
but like I thought that like the media voter here hated immigrants. You guys in the UK fucking despise them.
It's a deeper kind of racism.
It's a way deeper kind of racism, way more upfront. And I guess it's because they don't have like, I don't know, other cultures that like, yes, there are black people in Britain, but like not like here.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to like you're not as easily confronted with your biases in like the UK as you would be here in America, depending on where you live.
And like the only thing they got left is like the NHS.
Yeah.
And that's being actively gutted all the time.
Yeah, so that sucks.
But yeah, like in these Western countries, man, like Australia, the UK,
Germany
especially, United States, of course, like the liberal or neoliberal, I should say, systems of the economy and politics are falling apart rapidly. Mm-hmm. And the only countries I really see surviving this right now are places like Mexico with Claudia Sheinbaum. She's super popular, doing a bunch of left-wing populist things, and that country is not facing as extreme of a right-wing curve as we are.
It's just
in
on the
West.
up, low key.
So, I don't know, something to keep in mind, man.
True.
Something to keep in
This
mind.
next one from Nathan Gell, 5 out of 5 incompetent attorney generals that their defining moment is failing to prosecute Casey Anthony. Big on everything you guys are doing. Keep up the good work, my fellow Midwestern white boys.
So true. Do we got any more in here? Oh, we got one from Coriander. 50,000 out of 50,000 Dows.
Huge.
Glad to have this go to news source in the world of bigly sucking media.
Nice.
So true.
Nice. And I think one last one from it's really Mbuzi. 5 out of 5 flags on the play. You guys are goated, and you know that's a great sentiment to leave off on. I absolutely agree, but I do have to highlight one other comment that says in all caps, wait, Josh Shapiro is the dude who's responsible for labeling Aline Greenberg a suicide. I don't know if that's exactly the person that we're talking about, but he is responsible for some fucking suicide that was not a suicide that happened in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
and
but
he doesn't want to talk about it.
But his personal politics aside, like there's tons I disagree with. I think he'd be another moderate failure on the national level, even if he did become president one day. The fact that he covered up a murder or
allegedly covered up
covered up a homicide, That's disqualified.
Like that's
that's worse than the Graham Plattner tattoo.
I remember
man.
like when he was like a favorite for like vice president, people were like talking about that and bringing it up. It's like that was kind of like a guy who said Epstein killed himself moment. You know what I mean? Like it's just like these are just things that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you all for those reviews. If you want your review read, yada yada, leave it. Spotify, Apple, you know what to do. And also consider becoming a patron if you got this far to the end of the episode.
You're over here. I know you're yearning for your name to be read on this list. I know you want it to be read. You should sit here. You should listen to us read the list, and you should envision what your name would be like placed in here. Yeah. And really pay attention in the middle too, because really, you put your name on here. You hope to get in the middle one day.
Yeah.
You hope to have your name.
You desperately hope
surrounded by other people, like-minded individuals, right? So just take a listen. Put your headphones on if you don't have them on. So stop your car.
Stop your car.
And really live in the moment.
Stop your car. Let the air out of your tires.
Let the air out of your tires. Take some time to smell the roses.
Yep.
Listening to the Hiddo names get read off. So I got to give a special thanks to Caden Kraut, Chris the Postman, Chrissy Beck, Mike Chuplinsky, Clayton the LaFed. Don't listen to that part, though. Don't listen to me stutter. Mark Yeager, Caleb Joy, Rich Toro, Tari, Fergalaki, Mass Bezquez, Jacob Rogers, Clint Mooberry, Fixer Punk, Jim Egbers, Big Burrito, Cincy Alex, Joe Stenstrom, Adrian Sandoval, Chloe Sam 601, Colleen Cutts, Jennifer DeVoe, Croft Fishin, Bennett Bennington III, Alexia Benanti, Big Booty Beatdown, Sam Maloney, Ted Cruz, Boy Toy, Dictator Chase, Luke O'Shea, Carter Tarlson, Danielle Jackson, The Word of Microsoft, Jennifer Science, Internet Gundams, Darth Father, Tailored for Content, Corey Chambers, Retro Mondo, Veronica, aka B, Raxon, Ash Smith the Growler, Murder in the Trench Coat, Casey Lynn Kelly, AK Gon, Iguana Don, Zach Lantian, Austin Greif, Marcus Corbett, Caleb Roper, Taylor Rensock, Cammy, Tylen Freeman, Isaac Hodges, Madeline C, Anna Valinic, KCC, Sayus to West August, Particular Pickman, Sir Capilot, Jeff Sines, Brendan is Egg, Froggy Gumchop, Jackie Boy, Shameless, Coherent Babbles, MJ is Sharp, Michaela Munsey, The Walls, 3000, Chris T, Kashan Lala, Amanda R, Tyler J, Particulon, Memfrez, Rhonda Stiletto, Midwest Marks, Joe the Mailman, Gary from West Michigan, Shawnee GG, Juniper Not Jupiter, Stack Crabs, I Crowley, Urban Peach, Lord of Forlorn, Holt Forsyth, Booty Snakes, Dew Fairy, Chelceratops,
Austin Lima, Lane Waltz, Gorgeous Girl Mukes, Brooklyn G, Noverta Dastardly, Gold Thorn, Addie Book, Merlin, Cryobongi, Sergeant Pookie, Hoodie, Rose Grimm, Kristen, Jamie the Young Extremist, Jack the Heathen, Archer W, Evan Mingo, AJ Torres, Elo Nico, Jake Hall, Seth Schmidt, Noah Sajas, Majawat, Ultra the Dragon, Mercy Boku, Dick Cheney and 6-Inch Heels, Luke Wechter, Henry Kraggles, Tristan Ringsmith, Yaya, Sir the Atheist, Aiden Reese, Deep State Agent, Puddle Pirate, Southern Lefty, Lark61, KC, Cannon Man, Troy H, Mark Muffalo, Nahan San Diego, Nut Mode, Nick from New Haven, Connor Nick, Sound Logic, Sleeven, I Have Never Made a Woman Orgasm, John from Houston, Jordino, Haley Weibold, Pablo Vasquez, Nurse Jen, Soul DJ, Maple Big Dog, CIA Small Creators Fund, Taylor from Burnt Down Minneapolis, Northeast Nick, Aya, Retired AF and SC, Wolfer G, Gayest Worm, Niles Chamberlain, Sugar Free Baja Blast, Kristen the Leftist Nurse, Fake Airplane, TJ Loves Colleen, Mothman's Gay Lover, Real Jesus Christ, Queerla, Carter Gethin, Blulu92, 1000 Miniature Horses, Will Grant, Gay for Jeremy, Hail Libertas, Walter Vondel Vogelwide, Rad Dene, Captain Butt P.
Huge.
Captain Butt P, man. Cam Toki, Chef Slam, Chef Sam, not Slam, Jesus Christ, man. Mex Blaquet, Mealy Ducard, Call Me Bubba the Way I Receive Hiddo, Gina, a platypus named Icarus, K Boob, Randall What, Popo Dilly, Quasi Pox, Jeremy the Killer.
Oh shit! Well, if Josh Shapiro is the AG, Jeremy the innocent guy who didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. And my mom. Thank you all so much for supporting the show on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want your name read, you know what to do.
You know exactly.
Imagine it and make it happen.
You listened. You're manifesting it right now. You're my name on the list. My name on the list. Easy.
One of the most important skills in life is to be able to see something in your mind's eye, and then bring it into the real world.
One of my New Year's resolutions this year was to read more names on the Patreon list.
Oh, so true.
So true.
Would you guys deny me my fate?
Exactly.
You would deny me completion of my resolution?
You would deny me the personal satisfaction of meeting my goals?
Exactly.
Fuck.
What's wrong with you? You're not a real friend if you do that to me. Anyways, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good week.